Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back, and today I have an interesting video for you. Today I would like to talk about another offering from MSR. In this video, I want to talk about a new pot, a new addition to the Windburner series. This is the 1.8 liter pot. This is for duo pot. This is for two people. Now, this pot is amazing if you're going by yourself. In fact, Miss Bella and I took that pot when we did the Havasupai Falls hike, and it worked fabulous. But in some moments, we kind of wish that the capacity was a little more. MSR graciously sent this out for review. I'm so excited about this. I want to say thank you right off the bat to MSR for sending this out for review. So on the side of the package here, it says 1.8 liter pot offers added volume for serving an extra companion on the trail. Ultra efficient. The pot features a handheld design and an integrated heat exchanger for fast boil times. And this is ideal for boiling water, personal cooking, and quick brew ups with Windburner stove systems. That is so cool. Right here on the back, there's some specifications here talking about the boil times that are to be expected out of this pot and the weight. That's a big thing here. Minimum weight 13.2 ounces. So that's pretty cool, or 373 grams. And then it says this one will boil a liter of water in 4 minutes and 27 seconds. The 2.5, 6 minutes and 8 seconds, and the 4.5 liter stock pot that you see here, 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So that's just crazy. Here's a look at some of the nesting options that are available. Right now you can see this nesting system set up over here with everything except for the fry pan. I don't have the fry pan. And on when this video is finished, I'll have this whole complete setup here. So I'm just super excited. Let me go ahead and open this up. I want to take a first look at it and see what comes in the package when you purchase one of these. Now, the price point that MSR puts on these is about 90 bucks. But there's a lot of engineering involved in what this pot does. Now, the first thing you see here is a bowl that holds 600 milliliters or 24 ounces. So you can see right on the inside there are some graduation markers. I don't know if the camera's picking that up very well, but this is a nice bowl, considerably larger than the predecessor. This one holds 12 ounces. This one holds 24 ounces. So that's pretty cool. You can actually use that bowl to eat your meal out of. And I love those graduation markers on the side. 24 ounces, 16 ounces, 8 ounces. So if you're going to be making a Mountain House meal or some freeze-dried food or making coffee or something, and you have a specific amount of water that you want to boil or cook or whatever the case might be, you have those graduation markers on the side that makes pouring the water very easy. You know that you're getting the right amount. They're BPA free and they can handle hot water. This is 0.85 liters or in total 28.8 ounces. It says it right there on the bottom. So that's super cool. The next thing that we see is the lid. And the lid is no different than the lid on the previous model. Now, a lot of people were complaining about the lid doesn't fit tight and stuff like that. That's because these lids are designed to be fit at the best when there's boiling water in there. It warms up the plastic, and the plastic seats much better on the pot with hot water. Next thing we see inside is very cool. This is a stand for our fuel canisters. Very nice. It's cool that they include that. And then, of course, there's a little pad in the bottom, a little towel, for a couple of reasons. One, if we put a fuel canister in there, we won't damage the bottom of the pot. And also looking inside the pot, there is graduation markers as well engraved into the side of the pot. They're stamped in there. And I'm looking down in there, it looks like 20 ounces, 32 ounces, and 44 ounces. This is the 44 ounce mark. And then it also has it in liters. I think it's 0.6 liter, and then 1 liter, and then 1.4 liters. Even though this pot holds a total of 1.8. Now look at that heat exchanger. That is so cool, and it's so effective. Now looking at this pot here, this is the stock pot, but inside you have the smaller 2.5 liter pot. Now if you remember this one, the boil times on that chart weren't as good on this pot because it doesn't have really a heat exchanger. It just has this little thing that lets it sit on the burner. So these heat exchangers, that's really honestly where the magic is on these pots. And that's why they probably cost a little bit more than a pot like this. It's just doesn't cost as much because there's not as much technology in it. So we'll take the lid off. We will go ahead and get out the Windburner. And what I'm going to do is a quick boil test. I want to see how long it takes for this bad boy to boil 1 liter of water. So if you want to look at these little legs, they just fit right on the bottom of your fuel canister. Very, very cool. So it makes it nice and stable. Let me stretch right there. Look at that. That is super cool. So now I have a nice stable base for this canister. So I don't have to worry if I'm on sand or something like that. I don't have to worry about that getting knocked over or something. So the pot is right here. I have 1 liter of water. I'm going to go ahead and pour the water in. So just in case you're curious, 1 liter is about 32 ounces. And you can see inside it's just a bit shy of the 1 liter mark. It's at the 32 ounce mark. Let's get this bad boy connected. And I'm super excited. Very, very excited. I love the Windburner series of things. They are ultra light and they're very, very effective. Very, very functional. So let's go ahead and light this bad boy. Now I'm going to do this boil test without the lid. So I think we're lit. We're waiting for that little wire to light up. And it looks like I see that. So we'll give this stove just a second to get warm. This burner, got the timer there. And let's go ahead and set that down and we'll crank that bad boy. Now it's on high speed. We'll start the time and we're just going to count up and we're going to see how long it takes to get a rolling boil. Now again, they say that the expected time for this pot is right here, 4 minutes and 27 seconds. So we'll see how that holds up. Again, that 2.5 pot that I showed you, the one without the heat exchanger, that's the slowest one, 6 minutes, and that means you're burning a lot more fuel. And the best one was the stock pot, 3 minutes and 50 seconds. That's pretty remarkable. So I think that's cool, and I think that has such a good boil time, that big pot, because it's so wide and it has so much surface area to heat. So we're just gonna wait. This thing is wide open and I'm looking down in there and I can see light bubbles already. Not like a boil or anything, but just very light bubbles down in there at the bottom of the pot. I love these setups, and to be able to take that out in the woods with you or out on whatever journey you're on, super, super cool. I like this koozie that they put around there because it doesn't get hot. You can grab the pot right there and it doesn't get hot. What happens is the heat comes up and it comes out these little vents, and it's a super efficient setup. It's one of the coolest things I've seen. Very neat the way that works. And these bowls are nice too. I love these bowls. We're approaching the 2-minute mark, and I can see just a tiny bit of bubbles down in there. It's like a very light boil. And we're barely 2 minutes in. That's pretty crazy. I'm super excited about this pot. Please make sure that you're checking the description box down below, because I'll put links to MSR and where you can find a lot of this stuff. It's a great company and the products speak for themselves. One thing that is so cool about the Windburner, and it will apply to this pot, that pot, and the stock pot, not so much the saucepan, and because it doesn't have a heat exchanger, but what I'm trying to say is in very windy conditions, these three right here, it won't affect the performance. The wind will not hamper the performance of these pots because of the heat exchanger and the way they're designed. We're 3 minutes in now, and I have a light rolling boil already. Let's take a look here. See that? We already have a light rolling boil. That is crazy. So if you were trying to boil up some pasta, maybe you're gonna do some noodles, or maybe you want to hard boil some eggs, something like that, purify water, whatever the case may be, these pots make it very easy to do what you're trying to do. 3 minutes and 44 seconds right now. And we're at a light rolling boil. Pretty crazy. In fact, we're starting to get to a heavy boil, 350. Let's take a look. That, I would say, is a heavy rolling boil. Let's go ahead and stop the time. 4 minutes. Look at that. Look at that. That is nuts. Heavy rolling boil, 1 liter of water in 4 minutes. And then when it comes to this Windburner, you can really adjust the flame as to how much power you want that to have. And the cool thing about this pot is if you wanted to use this style, which sits on top of the fuel canister, that pot will also work with this burner head. So I think that's super, super cool. I just love this Windburner setup. It's such a cool setup. Works really well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and I'm going to let everything cool down. And you can see here again, like I mentioned earlier, you can grab this and it's not hot to the touch at all. It's very, very cool. I was able to boil that water. And this bowl, like I mentioned, it does not hurt the bowl to put hot boiling water right there in the bowl. No problem. Okay, everything is cool to the touch. Now what I want to do is I want to talk about the nesting options for this pot. Okay, now right here you can see I have a fuel canister. This is a 4-ounce canister, and I have the burner, the type that fits on top of the fuel canister. There's a little towel there, and then I put the fuel canister on top of the towel, just like that, and then that all goes inside of this pot, just like that, right? Then if you take the bowl off and the coffee, what do they call that, coffee press or tea press, take that off, put the lid on this unit, just like so, you'll notice that at this point everything can nest right down inside. Now that didn't sit quite as straight as I would have liked it to, but it does nest in there. Okay, the next thing you would do is you would set this right on top, and now you have the whole unit nested inside in one pot. Of course, you would then put the bowl here, and if you wanted the coffee press, I think you could put that there and put that there. I don't know if this other bowl would fit. I don't think so. So you'd have to forgo that bowl in lieu of this one. That's one option. The next option is pretty much the same thing with one small exception. That is, if you take this off and you want to change what type of burner you're going to use, so you say you don't want this type of burner that sits on top of the fuel canister, well then you'll take that towel off and you'll take this style of burner, fold the legs up just like this. Wrap the cord around it, tuck this thing away, and then you'll take your towel and put it right on the head of this style of burner, just like that. Put your fuel canister on it, and just like before, we're going to insert that inside, just like this. And let me see if I can get this to get in there here. This is kind of tricky, this part here. So something like that would probably work. So you got that in there. Then we would put our lid, of course, on this pot, just like that. And now we would drop the whole unit down inside, make sure that lid's on there, and put this like that. That's if we don't want to use this style of burner, if we want the remote one. Okay, so that one is finished. That's complete. Now if you want to put this in there, you can. If you want to put these in there, you can. But these actually fit better in this setup. Now this setup, you can put the remote burner in here like you saw when I first got it out of here in the video, or you can put this smaller unit. I'm trying to remember how that goes. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so then that gives you room to put your legs down there, gives you room to put that in there, and then of course you can put this here. I know I'm getting a little fast. Push the button and then fold that arm down. Now you have the lid on there, and then this pot system fits down in there. And then of course you can put this here, lock the little rollers, and now you have both units put away, completely nested. I think what MSR has done here is remarkable. The nesting system options that they create with these possibilities are amazing. You can grab both of these and you have a total of 4 pots now and 2 separate burners. There is one more possibility, and that is if you get rid of this whole system. Let's say, for example, maybe you wanted to take that like that. Let's just pretend that that burner stays in there. Okay, let's just pretend that that burner is still in there, right? So you would have that option right there with the burner included, right? But you could also take the larger fuel canister. This is the 8-ounce fuel canister. You could drop that baby in there, drop this burner in there, and now you have this setup that will give you an 8-ounce fuel canister. So that's cool. You're going to have quite a bit of options now. 8 ounces of fuel. This is pretty cool, and you have a burner. So there's really 3 nesting options. You could do the small one with the remote burner, or the sit on top of the fuel canister burner. You could do the same thing here, or you can bump it up to an 8-ounce fuel canister and use either burner. Again, you can nest this inside of this. But the possibilities that MSR has created with this kit is really, really nice. I like it a lot. So I'm playing around with this larger pot, and I found another nesting option that I thought was worthy of letting you know. This is super cool. Just found this out. Didn't know this before I shot this video. So you can put one 8-ounce fuel canister face down and a second 8-ounce fuel canister face down, and you can take this bad boy just like that with 16 ounces of fuel. So if you wanted to carry both of those, you got 3 fuel canisters. You got a 4-ounce and 2 8-ounces. You got a burner that sits on top of the fuel canister, or the remote one, whichever configuration you like to put in here. But now you've got 3 fuel canisters. I just thought that was super cool. Very versatile. I want to say thank you for stopping by today and checking out this video once again of the MSR Windburner 1.8 liter pot. I hope you got some good useful information out of this video. Please feel free to leave your comments down below, like this video, share this video, and as always, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a beautiful day, and we'll talk at you next time. Bye for now.